So this is the Bren volunteers from the Bren Graduate School. They all have to do so many hours of community service as part of their degree. I think it's like 50 hours over the 4 years they've been working on their masters. So one guy, Gavin, organized a bunch of the kids, and this was a series of 4 or 5 different workshops, all last spring. This is all about, what, last spring, probably 9 months old, this whole section in here. Creek runs back through there, around there. And then this area here was a big flat spot from here all the way over to those oak trees, but it was flat. And if you look on the historical maps, this was called Potter's Field. Big flat spot, before the freeway was there and everything, right? Late 1800s. And it was a walnut grove. Okay? Walnuts were one of the early crops in Santa Barbara. You see all these old walnut trees everywhere? It was one of the big crops in the 1800s. Avocados and walnuts. And these have all hybridized with the native California walnut. So they're a cross. Walnut is a native walnut is a riparian species. He planted this in a riparian area. This is Muhlenbergia origens. This is a deergrass, which looks like we're going to have a lot of seed here. Sweet. And then the creek goes down to the end of this road. It goes into a huge, big, 8-foot diameter pipe.
You got to know your plants.
Willow, and what about the calistesia?
The calistesia, I figure we can use some of them tomorrow, and the rest of them we can put somewhere, or we can use them all.
That's the morning glory. It has, the pink flag, the willows and stuff right there, So and then where's all the roots going to go?
Well, the roots is part of the Mandalay Bay.
That's Mandalay Bay.
Yeah. So that's sort of a kind of a problem in our layout.
What about the carex?
The carex can go into tubs. So the carex in the willow, now this is Carex praxillidus, so this is where you want to know your plant requirement of what the plant's going to need. And Carex praxillidus really likes marshy, wetland, low ponds of water. So we want to put it in tubs.
Can I go back one step about volunteerism?
Yeah.
Restoration would not happen without volunteers. Josie went to Santa Barbara Island, saw that. David needs people for Scorpion Rock. We use volunteers. Channel Keeper uses volunteers. Urban Creeks Council uses volunteers for restoration. It's so expensive to hire contractors. For a landscape contractor, they build their cheapest labor out at $25 an hour. Okay, and so projects would be in the millions of dollars to do a good-sized project if you had to pay lots of people $25 an hour. So we would get very little restoration done without volunteerism. Volunteerism. I just heard a thing on NPR this morning. You guys were listening to NPR early, but they were talking about volunteers building parks in inner city neighborhoods. Same thing. Habitat for Humanity, building houses for low-income people. Same thing. You can get a lot of stuff done with volunteers.